Alright guys, welcome back to another Dragonheir video. In this video, we're gonna take a look at the final boss of Season 1. Look at where I am here. I think this is the final stage of Season 1. It will end in 9 days, but I think the season is gonna end in 2 weeks, right? Yeah, it's gonna end in 10 days or 2 weeks, whatever. So this is the final boss. I think this boss has a lot of skills. Yeah, I think like as this is the reward structure. You need to reach, I think this is 140 million damage to claim the top reward, which is 16,000 of the echo. I think reaching this should be no issue if you are able to reach the maximum damage, let's say on the stage 4 of the guild boss. I don't think this is too hard for most people if you're able to build 6 teams, which I think you should be able to do, because this is basically the seasonal mechanic, is asking players to build more teams, right? Even if you're not have a lot of champion, just go with the rare or epic ones. You should be able to build 6 teams from 6 different affinities. As you guys can see on this account, I'm ranked at number 11. So also there is a reward structure here. Yeah, the difference is actually not that huge. If you scroll down, right, it's gonna end in like 9 days. And if you're not chasing the top 20, I would say like these rewards are not gonna make a huge difference. So at the final stage of the season, like your seasonal ranking, this is probably not gonna change a lot, to be honest. It's very hard to even make any change. Like you can definitely go lower, but if you want to go a little bit higher, even maybe 1 or 2 ranks higher, it's gonna be very difficult. So at this stage of game, what you're really looking for is just to catch up, right? Because like I said, I think for the daily damage, reaching this number is quite easy if you're able to reach, if you're able to do the maximum damage for guild boss, basically, right? As for the boss, it has a lot of skills. It has tons of skills, right? And I was reading this paragraph here. It says you need 320 accuracy. That's really high. That is actually really high. So you kind of have to rebuild some of the champion you built that requires accuracy, right? Because on most of the other content, 270 accuracy should be enough, right? And you get this 50 extra accuracy from the elemental affinity traits here, right? That's 50 extra accuracy. So on the champion itself, when you're using it on this boss, you will need 270 accuracy at least. Then you gotta get that extra from the elemental tree, right? So without further talking, let's just get into what team I'm using right now. Okay, so this boss is actually not a single boss. I know it's a little bit confusing at the beginning, right? It's a very cool looking dragon, but it actually has 3 targets. It has 3 different targets. With that being said, it's very obvious, like AoE comp is gonna be so much better comparing to single target comp, right? And one thing to note is, let's say you have someone that can put debuff, right? The boss, only the main target will have a health bar during the battle. So let's say if you are using the defense penalty artifact and you put defense penalty on the target that is not the main target, the decreased defense is actually not going to show up. So it might be a little bit confusing to player at the beginning. I was very confused because I used this artifact, right? And the debuff didn't show up anywhere. Then I realized it actually has 3 targets. If you put debuff on the other 2 targets that is not main target, it's not going to show up on the health bar. But it's actually it actually works, right? But it's of course, like this artifact says, it's only gonna work on 1 target. So, okay, You don't have to worry too much about the mechanic here, to be honest. At least that's what I did. Just go with whatever your team has on the beginning of other world exploration when you are fighting 6 different elemental affinity boss. So like I said, this is a AoE boss, so the team comp you're gonna go with is very different. Alright, you're gonna prioritize the AoE comp. For example, when you're in, let's say, guild boss or other world exploration bosses, fire affinity is super good, because fire and dauntless, they are pretty much single target focused, right? They can only hit one target with crazy amount of single target damage. In this place, you have 3 targets, right? And looking at all 6 affinities, I think one affinity that really fall behind on this boss is Dauntless. I think Dauntless is I wouldn't say it's useless if you have the right champion, but it really fall behind by a mile, because every single Dauntless hero, they are single target. I haven't seen any Dauntless hero that can do AoE damage, right? So there are 3 targets, and if you're using a Dauntless team, you can only hit 1 target. That doesn't make sense. So I would say for most of people, if you can, you don't even have to use a Dauntless team. Let's say maybe you can build 2 Radiance team to make up for the spot that for not using Dauntless team, right? You can definitely build 2 or 3 teams on a single affinity if you have enough champion. Like I think I made a video talking about this before. I think for Radiance, right? For Radiance, you can definitely make 2 teams, even with epic champions. And another one is Frost team. I think you can definitely make 2 teams. And I would say 2 affinities that really stands out in this place. The first one is Radiance, because Radiance has some of the craziest AoE damage in the game. I think this affinity is well rounded. It has a very decent single target damage. It has very crazy AoE damage, right? Pretty much all the legendary DPS from Radiance is really good, and there are some really good epic DPS from Radiance, and they can all do AoE damage. There's not a single DPS in this affinity that is single target focused. So Radiance really stands out. The other one really stands out is the Frost team. Of course, everybody knows Frost is just an AoE focused affinity, right? Nobody used this affinity in Vortex, the guild boss, right? Because, like I said, all their skills are AoE. They're not really single target focused, which makes this affinity probably the best affinity for this dragon boss. You have to build a very good Frost team, even with epic champion only. There are so many good epic champion on Frost affinity. So I would say if you have, let's say, 1 or 2 legendary Frost DPS, you can definitely go for a second Frost team, just to cover up the spot for not using a Dauntless team. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, right? I'll just definitely not use Dauntless team. Dauntless team really sucks here, because I already tested it yesterday. This it's the second day of this boss, the day I'm making this video. And if I have to review all 6 affinities, I would say the best one for this boss is Frost. And I think for 99% of players out there, you can definitely try to build a second Frost team. And the second best one is gonna be the Radiance team. Radiance, crazy AoE damage, right? Then the third one, I would say it's probably Necro. Because Necro, in this affinity, there are a lot of good AoE damage dealing champions, right? Then we have Fire, Poison, and Dauntless. I think those 3 doesn't really stand out in this place, because for Fire, unless you have Flora, you can do crazy amount of single target. If you don't have Flora, I don't think Fire is gonna work great in this place, because most of these champions are single target focused. And Dauntless, I think Dauntless really sucks in this place. You can only hit 1 target. And for Poison, I'm never a fan of Poison. I just don't think Poison is too great, to be honest. Alright, so without further ado, I'm just gonna make a run here and see what my damage number looks like. And I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back. I did 116 million damage with Radiant's team. I think it's pretty good, right? I think it's pretty good. I think I would do much more damage if I get another legendary Radiance DPS, right? Like Huberg or Thalandor. They're both AoE focused. So yeah, I'm happy with this damage. It's only my first team, right? But I can tell you guys this. When I use Dauntless team in this place, I can't even do 20 million, which is really bad, right? So yeah, I would say this one, Radiance and the Frost team, they're the best for this place, right? So I'm gonna save the damage. Yeah, that's it for the video. Just giving you guys an overview of the boss and what I think, what type of team you should use for this place. All right. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. I think the boss looks really cool, but again, I think the reward, the daily reward and the overall reward for this place, it's really difficult to make any change to your rank. It can only go down. It will not go up. Right? I go up a little bit because I finished I just picked the reward from yesterday. When these people pick up their reward, I'm gonna go back to number 14 or 15. So it's really difficult to make any improvement at this place, at this point of the game, right? Just waiting for the new season, basically. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the video soon. Bye.